All right, let's talk about Europa. Europa Orlando, which was 2 weeks ago, July 2nd and 3rd. It was held in Orlando, obviously. It's a big event that's a fitness convention. It takes place at the convention center. There are a lot of sports activities going on, from powerlifting, martial arts, CrossFit, archery, arm wrestling, wrestling, and bodybuilding too. So it's an IFBB and an NPC show. So I always wanted to do that show ever since I first started going there over 10 years ago. It has always been an intimidating show because of the quality of the competition. So since I was already in shape and was in a decent shape from end of June, I decided to do it, and I was going to be in Orlando at that time anyway. It worked out very good. The problem was keeping my condition and in fact improve on it in 2 weeks and then show up properly. So what I did, I actually, for the shows that I've done, I've been documenting, kind of like keeping a log of my peak weeks. Peak week is a concept, you may have heard of it before. It's the last week before the show where you try to improve on your physique a little bit. If you don't want to mess with it, you don't touch it, you maintain it, but there is a little bit of an improvement you can do. A lot of the people will also tell you things like, oh, if you're not in shape, don't bother with peak week, maybe pick a different show, all that bullshit. Pick the show you want, do the show you want to do. Don't listen to any of these assholes. Okay? It's your life, it's your body. Go up on stage. You're still gonna look way better than a lot of the people on this planet. So, fuck them. Coming back to that show, these people really piss me off, especially spending some time with the fitness crowd really pisses me off. From walking around the show, seeing keto products with 14 grams of carbs in them, to stupid pre-workouts everywhere, to skin cream salesmen on a fitness show. I'm walking around with my tan on me. They're asking me, what skin product do you use? Fuck you. Anyway, what I do for my diet. Diet was pretty similar to my Mid-Florida classic diet. I decided to do my carb load earlier. Basically, my thought process was I did not want to carb up too much where I would lose definition, but I also wanted to carb up a lot more than last time so that I would not look as depleted in the show. This show is on a Friday instead of a Saturday, so everything you do, you gotta do it the day before, because if you do your carb up on a regular show Friday, you compete on Saturday. Here you can do your carb up on Friday because you're competing Friday. So you would be doing your carb up Thursday night-ish. I decided to do it on Monday, again with the idea that I would eat a lot more carbs, hopefully fill up a lot more and see what happens. And if I mess up, I have enough time to clear out those extra carbs from my system. So Monday the 28th, and coming into the show, or coming into that Monday, my calories were all, again, very low. 14, 15, 100 calories, very low carbs, pretty much only protein. So about 50 carbs, 50 fat, 180 protein. So coming to Monday, I did 4 depletion workouts. All about, or started with full body circuits, 20 reps each, 10 to 15 sets per body part. I would basically pick one exercise, do that, superset it with another one, just keep going back and forth, and when it's done, go to a different circuit. So I did that for 4 days, but of course, as you're depleted, if your calories low, you can't really sustain that performance long enough. So over the 4 days, from 20 reps, I started going down to 15, 12, 8 to 10 in the end. That was all I had left. And from 10, 15 sets, I went down to, I think the last day, Monday, was 6 to 8 sets. But what I ate Monday was my similar carb load meals, which was waxy maize right after workout, cream of rice, bread, cereal, more cereal, more cereal, more cereal, and rice throughout the day. So giving me an overall 720 carbs, 160 protein, 38 fat, almost 4,000 calories for the day. That's, compared to some of my days, that's 4 times more calories. That night, right before I went to bed, I noticed I was really filling up very nicely. I started actually seeing some veins popping out on my chest, which was great. The problem is, that's Monday, the show is Friday. So the next day, The Tuesday I had some carbs, some protein, some fat. So it was still a relatively lower, basically a diet day, but with higher macros. So I had 80 carbs, 70 fat, 190 protein, 1800 calories. The 30th, the Wednesday, I had 160 carbs, protein 200, 30 fat. July 1st was my flight to Orlando, so I had more carbs that day. I had about 300 grams of carbs, lower protein, 100 grams of protein, and 36 fat. So here is my July 1st. So again, that's that Thursday. Cut water at noon. Some veins showing more at 1:30. I was taking sips of water, and I wrote every hour what I did. So after I cut my water at noon, at 2:20, I started feeling some dry mouth, a little bit of a headache, and I needed some food, so I ate one rice cake. At 3:30, I had one more rice cake on the plane. At 5:30, I had 8 graham crackers at tanning. 8 o'clock after I got home. 2 ounces of chicken, 200 grams of rice, 35 grams of angel food cake, 1 rice cake, sip of 2 ounces of water. Looking dry, not as full as Monday's 700 gram carbs. We'll try to load, checking every 2 hours. 10:30 at night. I had 2 rice cakes, an ounce of chicken, 10 grams of angel food cake, 36 grams of cereal, 1 crunch bar, 3/4 of a little bottle of vodka. So it's one of those little ones I got from Publix, just so I could dry out a little bit more. Plus I sip water. I don't drink. I hate the taste of alcohol. I couldn't even finish that one. What I did was actually I poured this over the angel food cake, so it became kind of moist. It was pretty good. Then I went posing at night. Vascularity good, hoping the dryness will get even better AM. And before I went to bed, actually I did go to bed. I think I woke up at some point. I had a rice cake, half of a Reese's Pieces, 1 cup rice, 1 ounce of chicken with peanut butter around 1 a.m. Then I went to bed, slept. I woke up at 4 the next day. That is the day of the show. I also know from having been through this a bunch of times, when I cut my water like this, digestion and excretion becomes a big issue. So what I tried to do that day, early on, I tried to get a handle on this. I had some instant coffee with coconut oil to try to initiate a bowel movement. Unfortunately, didn't work that well. So I added half, and I actually wrote that in my notes. Almost feels like I peaked last night. May reconsider shifting timing of events so that everything moves by 12 hours. Anyway, 6:30, I had breakfast, egg whites, bread, and jam. 9 o'clock, I went, checked in with the show. There I had 2 ounces of chicken, cereal, Reese's, graham crackers, rice cakes, here and there, just constantly eating and filling up and drinking very slight amounts of water. 1 o'clock, 2 ounces of chicken, rice, raisins. 4 o'clock, on stage. Kept eating every 30 minutes until then. Salt packets, Reese's, 30 minutes out, and Skittles at the final call. When they call you out saying, get ready, you're about to get out, I ate some Skittles. That worked out pretty good. The carbs in Skittles are like pure sugar. They really hit you pretty quickly within like 5-10 minutes. So if you can time it right, you can have with a little bit more popping in your veins. Then 5 o'clock, I had a banana, because at that point I was done with the show. I was thinking, should I wait to kind of stop everything and get back to normal, or should I keep my conditioning just in case I have to do an overall at night, which didn't really happen. But at 5 o'clock I had a banana, some chicken and rice, water, sipping. 8:30 at night was stage time. At 7 o'clock I started noticing some definition loss, because again I started eating more and I started drinking more. At that point it's kind of hard to control yourself. You have to be really disciplined. So what I did was a 6-set circuit, full body in the waiting area. I just did push-ups with my exercise with my bands, squats, 6 sets, 15 reps. Within 45 minutes, I started looking better, going back to normal. I had only 1 Kit Kat and a few Skittles when asked to be lined up. 9:30, everything done. I got I got second place. So at 9:30 after I left the show, we stopped at 7-Eleven. I got one of those big gulp drinks. When I got home, I had my dinner, which was basically salad and chicken, mostly healthy foods. Then the binging continued with some Greek yogurt and PB Fit as my dessert. Because at that point, I had been eating all that crap and sugary stuff anyway. I didn't really want any more. I just wanted some decent food. That was enough. And that was it. So this came out to be my best conditioning ever. And I was really dry. I was decently full, and the reason I lost it was not because of conditioning, was because I was not big enough, and I'm not going to be. I'm 45 years old. I don't think I'm going to get that much bigger at that point. And it also depends on who shows up on any show you do. So instead of these guys, if some worse people showed up, I would have won. But instead of these guys, some people that looked way bigger and way better showed up, I wouldn't have even placed. That is fitness, that's bodybuilding, that's bikini, physique, any kind of fitness show you do. Like that's pretty much the same for any contest you do. Even if you do an Olympic sport, if you're running, Usain Bolt doesn't show up, maybe you win. Or in the Olympics, every other guy is running as fast as Usain Bolt. Now you don't even place. So it all depends on your competition. You can only do your best. Hope that it's enough. If not, you try harder. At least you're trying. You don't just give up. So that is pretty much it. From this point on, I'm trying to do the Daytona Beach Classic, which is going to be in October. So my calories right now are around 2,000. My cardio is 3 days a week. I am hoping to increase it to maybe 4 from next week on, or maybe enough. But I will really start getting back to, so technically I'm about 12 weeks out. But since I'm already in a decent condition, I don't really need to diet super hard. Maybe 8, worst case 6 weeks out. I'm going to really start cutting down, get back to contest dieting. Again, contest cardio. We're gonna be repeating this process again. Hopefully look better this time, and even get a better place. And like I said, that was my best conditioning ever. I even had straighted glutes. I always had a little bit, but this time they were really showing. You can't really see that much, again, because of my grandma underwear I'm wearing. So for the next show, I'll definitely be getting new ones.